Hi everybody, it's Grace. Welcome to Eating Peace. It's summery here in Seattle, Washington this afternoon. Kind of unusual, but we're entering a season where it's actually bright and clear and sunny and very warm, and you could go outside with a sleeveless shirt on and maybe even wear shorts. Sometimes this kind of weather and the greater exposure and the brightness actually is of concern for people who've had eating issues, who feel frightened about how their body looks and feel concerned about the way they're even seen in the world. Maybe you have had lots of criticism about yourself. So the other day, somebody asked me a wonderful question. It was so great. What if I begin to feel afraid about something that's happening, like what I just mentioned? Here comes summer, and I am going to look terrible in a bathing suit. All my evidence of what kind of a person I really am on the inside emotionally, somebody who overeats, is going to be shown in the way I look out in the world. Not an uncommon thought, and really very painful if you feel self-criticism, self-hate, very negative. But what I like to remember in a moment like that, so that it doesn't start to kind of have a snowball effect and begin to move into the despair that you feel about this issue overall, is to remember this is a season. There are cycles. You move in and out of healing and understanding this process of what you're doing with food and eating, how you're being with it. You know how some days you feel pretty steady and smooth? There are moments when you are not binge eating and you're not concerned with food. Notice those. We'll tend to highlight, like with a big gigantic spotlight, the terrible mistakes we're making when it comes to food and eating. What I noticed when I was healing and the process of understanding and learning and slowly, what felt very slowly, like a 10-year process really, of coming to peace around eating in the most simple way, so that I no longer was binge eating, I was really hardly ever overeating, I wasn't starving myself, I wasn't over-exercising anymore. When I came to some level balance around that, what I looked back and noticed was that periods between binge eating and between compulsive thinking about food or great concern or anxiety around exercise or my body image just grew longer. They grew longer and longer, farther and farther apart. So here's what you can remember for today. It only takes one day of not binging to come back to a more centered place. It only takes one day of relaxing, taking a deep breath, calming down, grounding yourself very deeply. If you notice you have really intense desire, urge, and wanting something that you think you can't have, just to be very still and very grounded with yourself. Feel your whole entire body. Feel what it feels like to have your feet planted on the ground. Just sit in a chair and feel what it feels like to have the backs of your legs and your butt sitting and connected with that seat. If you only do that for just a couple of minutes, and you wait, and you just stop, and you don't binge for only one day, you will feel so much better. Only one day is all it takes. People will think I need to walk through a door, and that door is called total healing, and from that point forward, I am going to be free, completely free, and I will leave this all behind and, walk through the store. It's almost like people do the same thing with other things besides just food and eating. I am going to have an awakening experience and become enlightened. I'm going to walk through a door, and from that point forward, it will never be the same again. I will be free. And it's never what you think. It's never what you think it's going to be. It's not possible for the mind to really know or be able to totally understand what's possible for you in the future, not even in 5 minutes. Just remember, if you feel discouraged and like you are not getting anywhere, and you've had a whole lifetime, people will write from time to time me about that, with that kind of sentiment. I have been doing this for 35 years. I don't have any hope that I can really stop. Every single time I have worked with somebody closely and really asked them, they notice there are moments in their life where they stop. They have had times when they've stopped. Even if you're sleeping at night and you never eat all day nonstop without ever stopping, there's these moments and breaks in between. It's just a matter of stretching them longer, you know? So just sit in a chair, just wait, and just consider that. Only one day of not binging, only one day of feeding yourself gently and not absolutely starving yourself all day long. If you're somebody who is deeply restrictive about your food. And you will be in a more grounded, centered place. You might even feel more joy than you can imagine in only 24 hours, or actually even only 12, you know, start to finish. And then go to sleep and just be very, very grounded. Just what grounded means, if you haven't really heard that word before, or you've heard it before and you're not even sure, is to just feel the energy inside your body. We get all up here, so it's like we're only from the neck up. I'm crazed, you know. Oh my God, I want that thing. I want that food. I have to eat. It's all up in here. Just see, ask yourself, you know, what do my thighs feel like in the moment? What do my knees feel like? How do my feet feel about this moment in this situation? They're just being themselves, rooted on the ground, ready to move if that's what's required, and to sit very still if that's just fine as well. Just kind of sink down into your body and let yourself relax, okay? So if you feel discouraged about overall that you have never healed, or that this is not getting anywhere and you can't find the right answer, just know that it is like a spiral. You know, that's been my experience when I was at the very end of my process of healing and learning. And by the way, there's never a complete end. The whole time I'm in this body, I'm learning new things and seeing what new foods are like and experiencing different things with food and eating and fullness and hunger all the time. It's just that it's so much more subtle. It's not a point of extreme fear or anxiety or worry. So it's just something that's more learning and open to seeing what life is like. And I do learn more things all the time. I feel like that will never stop. There'll always be a refinement. But the violence, it seems to be over. And you can have that too. So what I noticed in the end of the more violent phase of my healing was that in between binges, it just stretched longer and longer. And then there was a point when I thought, wow, the last time I actually binged, I think it was like a couple of months ago. And then there was a time when I looked back and I realized it had been quite some time. It never worked to say, you know, from this date forward, I will never binge again. It's like a New Year's resolution. That never worked. There's no way that the mind can know how long your process is supposed to take and what's right for you and what you need to learn and what the timeline's going to be. So just relax out of that. You don't need to know anything. And just see if you can slow down for only 24 hours and just feel what your body feels like, even if you've got a spinny mind. And notice that you're just going to be in spirals and you're going to come and go like waves, like the tide going in and out. There's going to be bad days, there's going to be better feeling days, and they're just going to keep getting better and better because that's the natural trajectory for everyone, even you, I promise. All right, take care everybody. Lots of love.